she toyed all the men, as Jimmy confirmed that Meghan's secret hookup with him to get a slot on his show. Disgusting. Meghan Markle has cancelled a Tonight Show appearance, reports suggesting, amidst the ongoing mourning of Queen Elizabeth's death, the Duchess of Sussex is supposedly adamant on reducing her time in the limelight for the time being. A source had told Page 6, Meghan was due on Fallon, and I don't even know what she was going to talk about, but that's obviously cancelled now. As earlier, Meghan Markle was still living in with her chef then boyfriend, Corey Vitiello, and when she went on for her first date with Prince Harry, a new book claims. As according to Revenge, Meghan, Harry, and the war between the Windsors, out now in the UK, Meghan, then an actress in the USA network drama Suits, in 2016 had put into action a plan to befriend a group of well-connected Brits. As among them were Harry's childhood friend, Violet von Velsenholtz, who was working as a publicist for Ralph Lauren. Meghan has been hired to wear the designer's clothing during the Wimbledon tennis tournament in the summer of 2016. In a conversation with Velsenholtz at Wimbledon, author Tom Bauer writes, Meghan persuaded sensitive soul von Velsenholtz to set up a blind date with the prince. Her problems were familiar to all unknown, unmarried actors in the mid-30s, with a fear of loneliness and personal and financial insecurity. Bauer writes, unsurprisingly, Meghan was preoccupied by her own financial security and finding a husband. And before agreeing to set up, the book claims that von Velsenholtz had sent Harry photos of the dark-haired actress. Von Velsenholtz's father, Piers, is an interior decorator and an antique dealer and an old chum of Prince Charles's wife, Camilla. During the weekend visit to the von Velsenholtz's Hertfordshire country estate, and during joint family holidays, Prince Harry and William had played with Violet as children. As although Bauer writes that Meghan's 2-year romance with Vitiello, a Toronto-based chef, was in its last throes when she had met Harry, as they still shared a home together. As the book also claims that the 2 weeks after their first date on July 1st, 2016, Harry secretly flew to Toronto as he had stayed for about 1 week in the house of a friend of Meghan's, probably Jessica Mulroney. With Corey still sharing Meghan's home, the situation for Meghan was tricky but manageable. As at the end of the week, after he returned to London, Meghan was convinced that a spell was cast on the relationship, that Harry would be sealed, and she had told Corey that their affair was over. Bauer writes, according to the book, Vitiello was relieved, and the final months had been unpleasant. As recently, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry should refrain from using their Sussex titles in their business ventures, as a royal expert has told the express.co.uk, as King Charles III cannot strip his son and daughter-in-law of their titles of his own esteem, as the Duke of Sussex title was bestowed on Prince Harry at 38, as he had tied a knot with Meghan at Windsor in May 2018. A statement from Buckingham Palace at the time said that the Queen was pleased to confer the dukedom on her grandson ahead of the couple's wedding. Harry also gained the titles of Earl of Dumbarton and Baron Kilkeel. But since the Duke and the Duchess of Sussex departure from the royal life, questions have been raised over the continued use of their titles in their new lives, as they have been stripped of His Royal Highness titles, as well as various other royal patronages and affiliations. In other news, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle reportedly made their courtiers sick to their stomachs with their continued test of loyalty. The royal expert Valentine Lowe had issued the insight into his interview on the Good Morning Britain. As according to Mr. Lowe, in his book Prince William had reportedly ended up the key instigator for it all. It reportedly looked for the palace syndrome, which had proved the courtiers had become institutionalized and against him. As according to Mr. Lowe, I think it was a very difficult experience for some of them. As I revealed last year, there was allegations that Meghan had bullied the staff, and people talked to me of people being completely destroyed. I have heard about people at the time faced with the possible encounters with Meghan, and was saying things like "I feel sick" or "I'm shaken up." Extraordinary things for an employee to say about the prospects of seeing their employer in half an hour. As there's a way in which the courtiers are to blame, so the people around them were doing their best, as these were the people who believed in Harry and Meghan, and they wanted to help. But there were signs early on, and in the first year or so of their marriage, that there were signs of how unhappy Harry and Meghan were. And no one really did anything about it, as no one picked it up, no one flagged it up, and there were no big discussions with the most senior courtiers in the institution.